So in this video, I think I'll talk to you about the most depressing book I've ever read. The most depressing book I've ever read would have to be this. And it's not for the faint of heart, so if you're easily amused like me, but you're also very sensitive, kind of like me, then you won't like this book. This book is full of, it's really detailed. It's like one of the longest books I've read. And it has over 400 pages in it. It's very detailed. I love the detail in this book. There's really cool pictures in here. I really love the pictures. She was a very beautiful actress. Let me show you some pictures in here. They're really beautiful. They are so beautiful. I'm not a lesbian or anything, but I can appreciate a woman's beauty. You know what I'm saying? And some women are just really naturally very beautiful, like Barbara Payton was. She was very beautiful. Let me show you the book. Did you see the book cover? She was really beautiful. Let me show you. And she had a really pretty smile, too. This is her when she was older. Let me show you a picture when she was younger. Let me show you. Let me show you how pretty she was. She was very pretty. This is kind of like one of those like bad Hollywood stories, like what happens when you get involved with like the wrong group of people kind of stories. And this is her when she was younger. Let me show you. Let me show you. This one right here. That's her holding a book. I don't know what the book is. Maybe it's a bunch of scripts or something. But yeah, that's her when she was younger. Let me show you a younger one, a younger picture. Oh, that's a cool car. Let me show you another one. I like this picture too. They did really good at like showing some of their cheesecake photos. Is that what they're called? Cheesecake photos? I don't know. But anyway. I really love her lips too. Weren't her lips beautiful? Look. This is kind of like a bad Hollywood story, like the bad things that happen. And she did have like several bad things that she had to go through, like being in kind of like low budget movies. And oh, her hair looked pretty up too. I forgot about this picture. Sorry. I don't want to show too much because I don't want to get sued. No one wants to be sued. I don't want to be sued. No one wants to be sued. Being sued is just like an awful thing to deal with. I don't want to show too many pictures, but like basically she dealt with some trauma in her early life. I don't want to go into detail about like most of the book because I don't want to like do any spoilers in case you're interested in reading it. Let me just read the back, what some people have said about her. Barbara was like a Catholic church with a blazing neon sign out front. Tony Provost, Barbara's fourth husband. Men were fascinated by Barbara, and she knew she had them under her spell. Bill Ramage, actor. She was a worthwhile person, and I only wish she had believed that. Yvette Vickers, actress. I will always love her, as she, I believe, has always loved me. John Lee Payton, Barbara's son. And no matter what negative things you have to say about her, one thing you can't say about her was that she was a bad mother. She was actually a very good mother to her son. She tried to provide to him the best she could, and I have respect for her and admiration for her for that. Because because being a mother, I feel like, is like one of the toughest jobs in the world. And only really great people are privileged with that responsibility and that role. Because it really is a great responsibility to be a mother. And it's a lot of pressure too, to be a mother and provide for your family. And basically what happened to Barbara was she went through a trauma when she was younger, and she never really got the psychological help for it, so she kind of behaved in ways that were kind of questionable to other people. She was kind of a free spirit. There's this picture of her that I love, and if I find it, I'll show it to you. But she was kind of a free spirit. Like, I relate to her on that level. I'm kind of like a free spirit too, and I don't really go with the crowd. I'm kind of like my own person, kind of like she was. She was very beautiful, wasn't she? It's just sad what happened to her, like the end of her life. Her life kind of went on a downward spiral toward the end of her life. And it is hands down the most depressing book I've read, and this is also one of my favorite pictures too. I think that guy, one of the guys in here is like one of her husbands at the time. Let me double check. Yeah, Franchot Tone. I love her hair like that too. Wasn't it pretty? Wasn't her hair pretty up too? Franchot Tone, one of her husbands at the time. And it's just really sad story. It's the most depressing book I've ever read. So if you like depressing stuff, read this book. But it also they also interview a few very important people in Barbara's life that talk about her and what happened. So I like how they got the different points of view because it really makes for a very good book. A lot of detail, a lot of detail. I love how all of the chapters are broken up in different sections. Well, obviously, because that's what a chapter is. Silly Melissa. But I mean, like they have different names. Like Bad Blonde is one name for the chapter. Chapter 19 is Bad Blonde. Chapter 17 is Boozin' and Brawlin'. Fast Times in Hollywood. Chapter 8. So yeah, it's like the most depressing book I've ever read. So if you don't like Hollywood and you don't like, it really depressed me. I had to put it down several times because it was so depressing, and I don't really like the things that are too depressing. Really like affects my soul. So this really affected my soul, but it really touched me too because I could relate to some things. Because especially back then, there was double standards for actresses and how a lady should behave, and I feel like Barbara didn't really fit into that mold of how like a woman should behave. Because like back then it's like it was like nothing for like it was like guys could be like promiscuous and it wasn't seen like as necessarily a bad thing. But back then if like a woman was kind of that way or portrayed or people thought she was that way, even if it was true or not, she like got a bad like reputation, and her bad reputation kind of like carried with her throughout her life. And it was kind of an unfortunate thing back then, like double standards, and how today not much has changed regarding double standards and stuff like that, and how shallow and superficial people can be towards other people that you might judge as being promiscuous just because they're more promiscuous than you are, you know what I mean, and you view them in a negative way. And it's just really sad thing that society just has always done, had like double standards. I don't know if they'll ever go away, unfortunately. Well, I hope you liked this video. I try not to say too much from the book because I don't want to make it too depressing, and it's hard to put into words like the gist of this book. But like she was a very fun person. She was very easygoing. She was very beautiful. She wasn't she was very like I could see her being like very down to earth person. She wasn't snobby at all, I don't feel like, and she didn't she was kind of different for her time. That's as much I will say. I don't want to say too much. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day.